Hi, so my name is Tina Fenton, and in the next few minutes, you'll see a compilation of my street interview video, and then you will see my interjections with me answering these questions, hopefully to the best of my ability. All right, hope you enjoy. Hey,
Hello,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright. So today's date is August 17th, 2017.
It is.
Yep. And my name is Tina Fenton, and I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. And I'm conducting an interview as a part of my my academic work. So with your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a street interview video I'm working on for a Contribute to Society project. The interview will be used to create my street interview video, and then I will submit it to College for America so that my project can be evaluated, and this recording will be used solely for that purpose only.
All right.
The information will be temporarily stored in College for America in their online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access to. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
I do.
Wonderful. So then I'm going to need you to read this statement. Please, you don't need the pen.
I need the pen.
Nope.
I, Tashana Phillips, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Cool. Can you say it one more time, just a little bit more clearly?
Sure.
Thank you.
I, Tashana Phillips, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Cool. Thank you. Excuse me, Matt. Matt. Yes. You mind if I ask you some questions? Can you just follow me over here? All right. So, today is August 19th, 2017, and my name is Tina Fenton. And I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with the College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. And I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. So with your consent, I'll record this interview and use the information in a street interview video. I'm working on a Contribute to Society project, and this interview will be used to create the street interview video. Cool? And once I submit it to College for America, my project will be evaluated, and then this recording will be used solely for this purpose. So the interview information will be temporarily stored in College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access to. Do you have any questions? Huh?
I do not.
Cool. Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
I do.
Wonderful. So, I'm going to ask you to read this statement out loud, please.
I, Nakia, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Thank you so much. So today's date is August 19th, 2017, and my name is Tina Fenton, and I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program at College of America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. So with your consent, I'll record this interview and use the information in a street interview video. I'm working for a Contribute to Society project, and the interview will be used to create the street interview video to submit to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used for that purpose solely. So the interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and the College for America staff will have access to. Do you have any questions? No? Cool. Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes.
Cool. So can you just read this statement out loud for me?
I, Pauline, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student academic work.
Thank you, ma'am. So here we go. 4 simple questions, nothing too crazy. Don't get too nervous. Okay. All right, so I only have a couple of questions for you. It's okay if you don't know it. It's okay if you make it up. So I just have 4 easy questions for you. Nothing too crazy. Don't be nervous. Okay. So the first question, what are the 3 branches of government? So my first question to you, Nakia, is what are the 3 branches of government? So what are the 3 branches of government?
Executive, legislative, and judicial.
Oh, you're pretty smart.
See, this is the part when I should have paid attention in history. Don't remember.
You don't remember the 3 branches of government?
Was it legislation and something like that?
Legislative, judicial.
Yeah, those things.
Cool.
I think I only remember 2, Congress and judicial.
Okay. Okay, cool. 3 branches of government are legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. So the legislative branch creates the laws for the United States, and it consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The judicial branch is comprised of the Supreme Court, which resolve cases based on the U.S. Constitution. The criminal laws, well, the criminal cases and the civil cases fall under the Supreme Court. And then the executive branch is encompassed by the president, the vice president, the cabinet, the departments under the departments under the cabinet secretaries, and then they all execute laws created by Congress, pretty much. So just to go a little bit into each branch, the branch, again, well, the legislative branch is made up of the House of Representatives, so the House of and the Senate. And the differences between the two are the House of Representatives initiate all revenue bills. They initiate impeachment procedures and passes articles of impeachment. And they can only serve 2 terms, 2-year terms. And the House of Representatives, tongue twister, are comprised of 435 members, which are appointed by the population of the state. The Senate mostly confirms many major presidential appointments. They're the ones that tries the impeachment officials. They can serve 6-year terms. They have 100 members, 2 from each state, and they also approve the treaties. So after a legislative election, the party that wins the most reps are designated the majority in each house, and the other party is called the minority. The Senate, the Senate. So the Senate and the House of Representatives are put in place to create the checks and balances of government, law, passing those things. What does each branch do?
Judicial is with the Supreme Courts, like the federal court cases, legislative is Congress, House of Representatives, senators, and executive is the president.
Can you say that again?
Oh my
I
God.
need you to speak up just a little bit.
You should have kept me closer to the camera.
Wow.
All right, so there's judicial, there's executive, and there's legislative. Judicial is with the Supreme Courts. There's 9, pretty sure.
Okay.
Federal cases that go against the Constitution.
Huh?
And deals with federal cases, that mainly go against the Constitution.
Okay.
Legislative is with Congress, and then there's House of Representatives, and they make the laws, and then the executive is with the president, and he,
does each branch do?
You see, not sure. I don't remember.
Okay, how long has it been since you?
Girl, it's been some time.
Okay. And what does
If that's one of them.
and what does each branch do?
They support the government.
Can you say that again?
They support the government.
Absolutely, definitely supports the government
And the people.
and the people.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Here's a little breakdown of each branch. The executive branch, again, so the qualifications for the president must be 35 or older. They must have lived in the U.S. for no less than 14 years. They must be naturalized born citizens of the United States. They receive $400,000 a year in salary. They are the key players in international crises. They symbolize the country, so they're a symbol of the country. So they're like also crisis managers. So they are the symbols and the administrators. And they are also known as the agenda setters. So the cabinet is made up, just doing a little bit of research, and the cabinet is made up of a bunch of people. So just to name a few, the cabinet provides, well, some of the responsibilities, provides advice to the president and promotes the well-being of the departments. The cabinet consists of Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of War, Attorney General, Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Homeland Security, and a few others. So the judicial branch is a Constitution of the U.S. establishes the Constitution of the U.S. establishes the judicial branch and defines many of the rights that the judiciary protects. Congress passes laws. The president, commander-in-chief, and the executive branch make recommendations and set the policy. So the structure of the federal courts that are underneath the judicial branch are the Supreme Court, and that is the U.S. Supreme Court. The Appellate Court, the U.S. Court of Appeals. And under that is the 12 Regional Circuit Court of Appeals and the 1 U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. Then underneath that are the trial courts, which comprises of the U.S. District Courts, the 94 judicial districts, the U.S. bankruptcy courts, and then the U.S. Court of International Trade and the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. And then underneath the trial courts are the federal courts and other entities outside of the judicial branch.
All right, cool. So Democrats, blah, 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 blah. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party?
The liberals.
The Liberals. Cool. So, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party?
No, not really.
You don't know a third party?
Me.
What?
Let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Okay, last question.
Thank you, Jesus.
So you don't remember the third party in the last
I don't.
election?
No.
You don't? Green? All right. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? You can't name a third party? The club, the lodge, lounge? No, nothing? Cool, all right.
There are a couple of third parties. The Green Party, the Progressive Party, the Anti-Masonic Party, the American Independent Present Party, the Libertarian Party are all considered third parties. To go into a little bit about how did the two-party system start. So first party system of the United States featured the Federalist Party and the Democratic Party, aka the Federalist Anti-Democratic Party. Yeah, the rise of the political parties then created the Republican and the Democratic Republic Party. which was founded in 1792 by Jefferson and James Madison. The party was created in order to oppose the policies of Hamilton and the Federalist Party. And the third parties need to work to get on the ballot during any election. And third parties also affect the ballots. They affect the votes. They take away votes from major candidates during election time. So one more question, then I'll let you go about your merry way, because I know this could be awkward. What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
Ooh, all I know is that it supposedly starts like with the people, you know, and then it goes to Congress, and then they have to decide, and they decide on something, and they send it to the president, and then he can approve or disapprove, and then even it doesn't matter because they can veto, or he vetoes, but they can override that. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I thank you for your participation. I'm sure I gained lots of useful information from you. I'll be doing some research on my own so that I can put my own video together.
Okay.
Maybe I'll show you.
Be nice.
Over and out. What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
The Bill of Rights? It has to be, right?
Nakia, thank you for all of your assistance and help. It was great interviewing you today.
I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I don't know anything.
Why are you so
You have a good time.
You have a great day, man.
So last and final question. As soon as these cars are driving by, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? You don't remember that one?
sad.
That's cool. A lot of people don't remember. I don't even remember that one.
Yes, we do.
All right, well, Polly, thanks so much for being such a pleasant individual.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
you
you.
participating in this interview. Have a great day.
You too.
Process. So, first, a bill is drafted, and only members of the Congress can introduce it to legislation. They then can become a sponsor for that bill, and then once the bill is introduced, it's sent to a committee, which it goes through examination, and then afterwards, it will be passed on to the subcommittee review to be heard in a hearing, where it will be heard by the executive branch, the experts, other public officials, supporters, and or any other opponents. After that, once the hearings are completed, the subcommittee may mark up the bill. They can make changes, adjustments before recommending the bill to the full committee. And if the bill doesn't get the vote, then it dies. The full committee will then vote on a recommendation to the House or the Senate. It's called ordering a bill. Then voting will occur during the debate and approval of any other amendments. Once that happens, referral to the other chamber happens. So once the bill is passed by the House or the Senate, it goes through the committee on the floor, and floor action, which can be received, rejected, ignored, or changed. Then it moves on to the conference committee action. So if changed, then the conference committee needs to reconcile the differences between the House and the Senate versions. Finally, if approved or once approved by the House and Senate, the bill is sent to the president, and if the president approves, it then becomes law. Or if the president just kind of ignores it or just lets it sit there. So automatically after 10 days, the bill will be passed if Congress is still in session. If not, or if the president doesn't approve, Congress can then override the veto if 2/3 of the majority did pass the bill. So that's the end of those questions. I hope you enjoyed my street interview video. I definitely learned a lot about the different branches and, you know, what they entailed, some of the roles, responsibilities, and who's over what. And learning that the president does not actually make all the decisions. But yeah, again, my name is Tina Fenton, and I hope you enjoyed this street video.